Hi everyone, this is part one of Pantry Systems. Today we're going to talk about how you can easily organize your pantry so that it supports your nutrition practice. So the best way to do this is to come up with categories. So we're going to find a place in your kitchen, two shelves. One is going to be our protein shelf, and then the other is going to be our grains. So just for an easy example, we're going to use these two shelves here and maybe the one up top, but we're going to start with these two shelves. So if you find just two shelves that are, the first one should be really eye level for you, and that's where we're going to put all of our proteins that fit into the pantry. So I went grocery shopping today and went to find some different proteins for us. So we have almond butter. Anything that is going to be over about even close to 7 grams per serving can be incorporated into your meal as a protein. So we have almond butter as an example. So we're just gonna go ahead and put that right up on the eye level shelf for us. Any nuts or seeds are also going to be fabulous proteins for you for either a snack or even into incorporating into a meal. So we have sunflower seeds as another example. So these are gonna go onto the protein shelf. We have a couple things that are going to go into the refrigerator, but we're going to put those to the side for now. Brazil nuts are also a really fabulous protein that can be incorporated into a snack. They also are a really great source of selenium, which actually helps support the thyroid. So we're going to put those up there. And so those are going to be some of the other proteins so that are going to go onto that shelf. Other things might be any dried beans or cans of tuna, or like I said, anything that has at least around 7 grams of protein or more is going to go onto the protein shelf. That should be about eye level. Then next we're going to one shelf up, we're going to start placing all of our grains. So we have, today we have oats. So ideally we want to have, at least about 3 grams of fiber in our grains. However, no biggie if there's not. We can always add fiber to that dish in other ways by adding vegetables or other proteins that might have a little bit of fiber in them. So oats are going to go up onto our grain shelf. And then any crackers, so these are flaxseed crackers, which are almost a protein. So you can decide if something's close. These are crackers, so we're going to go ahead and put them up on the grain shelf. However, they could possibly make them down to the protein shelf as well. Let's see. Granola. Granola is another example of, if there's a lot of protein in the granola, 6 or 7 grams, it could go on this shelf. Or if there's not, it could go up on the grain shelf as well. Any rice, there's a variety of different ancient grains. So you can do quinoa, spelt berries, black rice, wild rice, brown rice. All of those grains are going to go right up onto the grain shelf. There we go. Let's see. And then any other crackers, I tend to keep a bunch of crackers in more of a Tupperware container so that they just stay fresh a little bit longer. So we'll put those up here. All right, so we have all of our grains and then all of the proteins. So that's good. And then we're going to go over to the refrigerator. So just some tips. Freezer. Let's start actually with the freezer. Having at least like one frozen meal that could be your definite go-to, so it's just really easy to take out of the freezer and possibly add some extra vegetables to it. That's such an easy way to whip up as a backup a great dinner or lunch, whatever you prefer. So we're gonna stick these in the freezer. Next, it's also great to have some different proteins. So we have some hemp veggie burgers that are going to easily be, you You could take that out, add a grain, add some vegetables to it, and then you'll be done. Always great to have at least one bag of frozen vegetables on hand. Always great to have at least one frozen bag of fruit on hand. And some greens. So no matter what, I have a backup for a dinner or a lunch meal. All right, so then when it comes to fruit, I try to have a rule of thumb of having at least 3 different fruits every week or every time I go shopping, so that there's 3 different fruits kind of in a system. So we have some citrus fruits, we have some grapefruit, we have an avocado, and we have bananas. So we're gonna leave the bananas out on the counter. And then with avocados, I usually buy 3. If you're an avocado lover like me, you can buy 1 soft and 2 hard. So if you buy 1 soft, that can go in the refrigerator. And then the other 2, one can go in a paper bag, so then it's going to be ripe the next day, and then leave 1 on the counter so that it will be ripe and ready to eat in just a few days. Okay. And so citrus is going to go in one of the drawers. And then we have some different proteins for the refrigerator. So just like we did up here, we're going to find one shelf that we're going to put hummus as a protein on our protein shelf, and we're going to do yogurt. Now this is an almond milk yogurt, but you can do any yogurt that you'd like. So these, yogurt, hummus, and tempeh, which is another just plant-based protein that is made from soybeans, and it has lots of protein in it. It's usually, we just checked, 16 grams of protein per serving, so that's quite a bit. So we're gonna put all of these on the top shelf. There we go. And then greens. So typically I like to have 2 different greens going through the kitchen at one time. So we have some kale and we have spinach. And these will be our greens for this week. And then next week, I might change it up and do Swiss chard and arugula. And then for our vegetables, there's carrots, and I like to try to have at least 3 different like fresh vegetables that you can do. There's lots of root vegetables this time of year, but depending on the season, you can change it up. We have some purple daikon radishes. What else do we have? We have some green daikon radishes, and we have some Jerusalem artichokes. So depending on what's in season in your area, I'm going to choose to keep all of these in the paper bags and put them in the drawer in the refrigerator, just so they stay a little bit as dry as possible. And then we have our healthy addition. So if you are ready, like after you organize those 2 shelves, and as you're organizing, if you're ready to add some healthy additions, you can find another shelf that is going to have things like maybe like your spices or things that you automatically love adding to meals. We have some apple cider vinegar. This is where you could put like your sea salt, or you could put different sauces that you have. So if you have like a favorite pesto or marinara sauce or salsa, anything that you would add to a meal would go on that healthy additions shelf. So that is the basics of starting to create some pantry systems, keeping it simple, starting with the 2 shelves, and maybe 1 or 2 shelves in the refrigerator. Same idea, protein on 1 column. And then if you actually make ahead of time any of the different grains, you can always use another shelf, so you have that system approach. So thank you so much for joining. I will be back with diving into more pantry systems soon.